Okay, real quick, the original video that I made on this got age restricted. The views are going up really fast, and as soon as it got age restricted, the views just stopped. So this is going to be the exact same video with specific language and specific clips taken out of it to hopefully not get age restricted. Deathcore Dre, no brainer, the things you don't know, but I feel like you should. And what I feel like you should know, today I just found out apparently there's a law in Indiana that allows citizens to shoot cops, apparently. So I'm going to read a little bit from this, from my source real quick. We're going to learn some details about this. So this is what it says. Police officers in Indiana are speaking out against a new law that gives citizens the right to use deadly force to protect themselves against public servants who overstep their authority. Tim Downs, president of the Indiana State's Fraternal Order Police, says the law, which was actually signed in March by Governor Mitch Daniels, but only now getting national attention, might give the people the impression that they can shoot police with impunity. It's just a recipe for disaster, he tells Bloomberg. Here's a brief guide to the controversial legislation. All right. So what exactly does the law say? It authorized people to protect themselves or their property by using deadly force in response to unlawful intrusion by a public servant. The measure is essentially just a public servant specific amendment to the state 2006 so-called Castle Doctrine bill, which allows people to do whatever they have to do to stop someone from illegally entering a home or a car. Indiana is reportedly the first state to specifically allow the use of force against police. The new rule was passed with a nudge from the National Rifle Association, NRA, which has pushed permissive gun laws around the country. So, basically what that means is there's something called, let me go back to it. There is something called the Castle Doctrine bill. So basically in different states, the Castle Doctrine bill is basically like you're able to, like they said, you're able to and you're allowed to use deadly force against someone to protect yourself or your property when someone enters whatever they classify the castle to be, which could be your car, could be your house. So let's just read a little bit more. Why did Indiana push this law? The state Supreme Court had previously ruled that citizens had no legal right to resist the police officers, even in the case of unlawful entry. Pause. That off rip is fucking crazy to me. I'm going to be honest with y'all. Off rip, I got a problem with that because I feel like police officers are people. Police officers do crazy shit. Police officers harass people unnecessarily. Police officers overstep their bounds. They can literally basically do whatever they want to you and hide behind the law. So let's go back. I'm going to read it again. The state Supreme Court had previously ruled that citizens had no legal right to resist the police officers, even in the case of unlawful entry. So before the law was passed, explains Republican State Senate Michael Young, people had no legal right to protect themselves from abuse at the hands of authorities. Indeed, he says, a homeowner could do nothing in the hypothetical case in which he returns home to find a police officer raping his wife, other than filing a lawsuit. I like that they said that. Let me read that again. Basically, because there is no legal right to protect yourself from law enforcement officers, which basically mean that if a law enforcement officer comes up to you and just starts punching you in your face, legally you aren't allowed to defend yourself against him, which it doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand why that's fucking crazy. Why that's fucking illegal, as Dana White would say. So let me go back. A homeowner could do nothing in the hypothetical case in which he returns home to find a police officer raping his wife. Now, I'm going to tell you this right now. Most people, if I came home and I found a police officer raping my wife, that'd be the last day. I don't care about no state doctrine. I don't care what state we in. I don't care about none of that shit, bro. You pull up in my house doing that dumb shit, it's all smoke. I don't care what nobody say. I mean, you know what's crazy? It don't even gotta be that severe, Slim. I'm gonna tell you this straight up. If I ever get pulled over and the boys, like let's say I'm in a whip, right? And I get pulled over and I'm with my mom or something, I'm with my little brother, and they get to wilding on my family, You catching straight smoke, bro. I don't need no bill, no law, and none of that. But if they want to make a bill and a law, I think they should. I think that that's overdue. Qualified immunity, that is a whole nother topic that we can get into. That should be done. But this right here, I think that it's something that everywhere needs to have. I feel as though you should be able to defend yourself against anyone. Because at the end of the day, like I said, police officers ain't nothing but human beings. They're emotionally driven. They'll do crazy stuff to you. They'll hurt you, do all these things that you legally can't do anything about it under any circumstance but file lawsuits. So anyway, back to the story. Is this necessary? Is the heading now. Not according to law enforcement officials who lobbied against the bill. They say it's woefully unnecessary, as Indiana was not exactly being marauded by road cops. And now anyone who's drunk or distraught might think that it's legal, that he has the legal right to stop and shoot a police officer in a dispute. It just pushes the bounds on our hands. Well, pushes the bounds on our heads. Okay? Sergeant Joseph Hubbard, for one, says he now worries that every time he pulls over a car, the driver might shoot him and cite the law as justification. Somebody is going to get away with killing a cop because of this law. Now, that I don't agree with. So, wait. I'm not going to say I don't agree with it. I would say that you do have idiots that would think that they're justified for doing crazy things. But I think that we all need to be held accountable within the law. The same way police officers can come out here and shoot you, and then they get and they have to be, evaluated, and go through the legal system, if they're even themselves brought into, like the court system themselves to even explain what they had going on. I feel as though citizens in their right mind should legally be able to do the same thing. Because if a citizen is in a situation and they have to defend themselves against another citizen, we have to have more control over ourselves and more control over the situation than cops do. Now, let me explain what I mean by that. The police pull up on you. Well, at least in where I live at in Washington, D.C. The police pull up on you and they get to starting the shooting. Let's say you do something. Let's say you run up on somebody and you get to punching them out and whatever. The police pull up and your knife falls out your pocket, or you pull your phone out or something and the police start shooting and they shoot somebody else. That's not on the police, right? Now, let's say somebody with an actual gun pull up on you as a citizen and they start shooting at you, and in the midst of you shooting back at them, you shoot somebody else and kill them. That's on you. As a citizen, you have to be more careful and more capable of controlling how a situation plays out than a police officer does. So with that being said, I think that a police officer committing a crime against a citizen, the citizen should have the right to defend themselves by all means. Now, I do believe that they would have to be extremely careful, because at the end of the day, we sit here and we walk around day in, day out, and we are basically expected to know the law. We are expected to know each and every law, but police aren't. Police can sit there and come to you and make up things, lie to you, do unlawful things to you, and all you can do is, go against them legally. I feel like that should be across the board then. How can we expect a citizen to know all the laws if the people that are enforcing laws don't even know all the laws? I hope y'all understand the correlation that I'm trying to make here, because you might lose me, but the point that I'm making is, if police can sit there and make these decisions and make the decision of whether or not deadly force should be used based off of how they're allowed to make such a lot of mistakes, and the law basically protects them to do so. And I think that citizens should be able to have that same right. Basically, I think citizens should be able to protect themselves, and they should have to sit down and understand the predicament that they're in and make the right choice, man. That's how I feel. Like, yeah, I'm sorry to say it. Talking about is it necessary? Listen, yes, it's necessary. Pull up on the wrong folks. Take that L if you got to, man. But that's basically the law, man. Like, subscribe, comment. You know, no brainer. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We not that far, so get in it, man. Let's go.